down the string, and this is acting as a sort of sound box or amplifier. And you see they've used a sort of like a resin on here to make this quite a smooth surface. This is just a cardboard tube which has just got a sort of membrane across of paper, and you know, things again. When I show this to these children, they're just amazed at these objects because, you know, like children play. I mean, again, in Europe, you might have found these objects a sort of, you know, 60 years ago. You have found hawkers on the streets of London, sort of, you know, 80, 100 years ago, some of these. Just the way that's held with, it looks like a matchstick. Not be a matchstick, maybe a bit of cane, split cane in there. So very simple things like that. There are some more, and I'm going to show you this in a minute, more sort of, well, I'll show this to you now, more sort of complicated objects. There's this little, very difficult to make these objects. I've tried to make that object. Again, it's very interesting in the book. It talks about how one toy maker only told his son how to make one toy a year to keep him working with it. Because there are certain tricks in making the toy, certain things that they did when they were working with material to make the toy work. And I think that's really interesting. It's sort of, it was a way of hanging on to his son, so his son didn't go off and work sort of away. He just told him one thing. Clay, very interesting, just a clay ring. You can see the clay through there. This piece of a sort of off-cut of steel pushed into the clay. So it holds it with the paper over it. The paper, the skin of the drum made by sort of wetting the paper and stretching the paper, of course. The cane split and the cardboard passed through to make these sort of teeth blades, which then the stick gets, it's used as a hammer and ratchet. As it goes around, it lifts up the stick and it passes over that and drops down. It's a way of splitting the cane and then wrapping string round. It's a very simple solution of holding that together. A more sophisticated drum harp, made by a man who's featured in the Handmade in India exhibition, which was a Crafts Council exhibition probably about 10 years ago. Can't remember his name, sorry. Can't remember his name. Made this object, works in Delhi. He was working sort of, you know, toy maker on the street. Just using metal strapping. Very interesting, just the way metal strapping, the strapping you get around packing cases, sprung steel, the way that's used in India in a whole variety of ways. I haven't got anything here made from it, but very interesting. That material again can be bought by the weight in Calcutta. You can go to places, scrap markets, where you can just find dealers just dealing in that sort of material. You just buy it by the kilo. It's sprung, it's lovely material. You get it around paving stones and bricks here in London. Readily available material, it's great stuff. Difficult to drill, it's a bit sprung. But it's lovely material, it bends really nicely. Clay, like the way the hole's been made, it looks like the hole has just been pushed through. It's a very thin walled bowl. And if you can hear the clay inside. They sort of put the skin on, and then they made the hole, and the bits of clay that's come loose as they made the hole stayed in the bowl. Just using string, no glue really, just nice that solution of putting the string across, putting the wood across there, and then putting that as a way of holding it on. Material on here to stop that from slipping, the string would slip on the wood. And it does this, after all that sort of build-up. Works every time.